Do you remember the Toyota pickup in the Back to the Future movie? Marty McFly finally got his truck at the end, and it was magnificent. The Toyota four-wheel drive pickup, all like modded out with lights and a light bar, and I loved that thing. Like probably thousands of other teenage boys at the time, I became obsessed with the Toyota four-wheel drive pickup truck, and I had to have one. I was working at a drugstore at the time, and I saved all my money, as much money as I could save, for eventually getting a truck like that. It took a little bit of time, but wouldn't you know it, one day my dad comes to me and says, "Hey, I have a friend in Oakland, California who has a 1984 Toyota 4x4, and he's selling it." And this was in 1994, so at the time that truck was 10 years old. It had 60,000 miles on it. 10-year-old 1984 Toyota 4x4 truck. And my dad said, "My friend will sell it for $4,500. I was like, "Oh my God, I have to have it. So I was close. I had, the majority of that money saved. I worked a bit more, and I got it. I got that money. So here we are in 1994, and I have the opportunity to buy this pickup, but there's a problem. The problem is I lived in Spokane, Washington at the time, and the pickup was in Oakland, California. So I'm a 17-year-old kid, something like that. I'm like, okay, how can I get to Oakland, California, buy this truck and drive it back? I was determined to figure out a way to do that. This is back before there's no smartphones, there's no GPS. I'm just a kid with a dream. How do I get this truck home? And technical difficulties. My best friend in high school, I called him up and I said, "Hey, what do you think? Do you want to fly to Oakland with me? And I'll buy this truck and we'll drive it back together." Like the trip of a lifetime, right? A couple 17-year-old kids just on the road, driving home a new Toyota, old, used, new to me, Toyota pickup truck. It's like, heck yeah. So I made arrangements to make this happen. I remember he had to ask his mom permission to go. And I'll never forget, his mom was like, "Why would he want to do something like that? Like, why? Why would he want to do that?" Which is a little side note about adventure and the desire to find it. Some people have that innate desire to go experience things and go find adventure. And some people are like, why would I want to do that? I've encountered both in my life, and I know who I resonate with more. Just saying. I'm going to take a seat here and continue with this story because it gets loud, right? The wind and the trail noise. So we get to Oakland and buy this truck. The friend puts us up in his house for the night, and I pay him, and the next morning we leave. And it's one of those things where, obviously, without a phone and without GPS, a couple of teenage kids, like, okay, we rely on directions, spoken directions that we write down, or, I don't think there was a MapQuest at the time. I just don't remember. But I remember getting directions on how to get out of this guy's neighborhood. You take a right on this street and a left on this street, pass the stop sign, take another right, and take a left and you're on the main road, blah, blah, blah. Like that. And what a different time, right? Because now we just plug in the address we want to go to and we don't give it a second thought. We just do what our phone says and we get to where we're going, which isn't always a good thing, because sometimes those GPS systems take us somewhere we don't really want to go. We just follow the route because it's planned that way for us, and we just don't even think about it, and we end up there, and we didn't want to be there. And when you're driving without that, and I just have this memory, just as this kid being like, okay, first step is to get out of the neighborhood. Okay, we got out of the neighborhood. Now, how do we get to the highway? Which highway do we want to take? Do we want to take the 5 and go all the way north? That's the quickest and easiest way. Or it's not very scenic. Maybe we want to take the 101 and go up through Northern California and Oregon, and maybe that'd be better. Maybe we want to get on the 1 when we can and see where we go there. And I just remember just finding our way, and I just remember taking these little back roads and taking the 101 and just laughing at just stupid stuff we'd see along the way, and just finding a little motel and saying, okay, is this where we want to stay? let's see if we can stay here. And just that sense of adventure and not knowing exactly where we were going to end up, but knowing the general direction we wanted to go. I think that's missing. And I think back about that, and then maybe that's one of the reasons why I crave adventure like I do, and I crave the alone time like I do, because it kind of harkens back to that time when I didn't know exactly where I was going. And who would have thought that the lessons of buying a pickup truck in 1994 would come back to me today in my late 40s and be like, man, times are different, right? Just how much things have changed and how, for the most part, easy life has become. And we just don't have to think about very much. But that's also a problem. We follow these directions that are laid out for us, and yeah, it gets us to a destination that we pre-planned, but what are we missing along the way? What adventures are we just completely bypassing because they're not on our path that we have pre-chosen for ourselves? I don't know, maybe I'm putting too much thought into this memory of buying this truck, but it sure is just bringing back memories and just really making me think about the directions we take in our lives and how we get there. Because we can put a destination in our phone or our GPS, and it will take us to that destination, but what are we going to miss along the way? What attractions are out there? What people are out there? What happens if we just take a left when we're supposed to go straight? What's that detour going to bring into our lives? And so many times, not just driving, but just in our life in general, we're so set on getting to a specific destination that we just don't look around and see the things that are around us and take a break and go experience something else. Because if we're not careful, we are going to end up exactly where we're going. That might not be a problem for you. I hope it's not. I hope you get exactly where you're going and you love it there. But if you see an opportunity for a detour, it might be a good idea to take it. As far as the truck, well, I had that truck until I was, 22. I didn't have it for very long. That truck was stolen from a park and ride parking lot in Seattle, Washington, while I was in college. And I did get that truck back. They ended up finding it, but it was totaled. The frame was bent. It was one of the saddest things. I'll tell you what, I've never had a vehicle that I've loved so much since. And I think because I worked so hard to get it, and I put everything I had into getting it, and the adventure of getting it. And yeah, I swear, like, if nothing happened to that truck, I'd like to say I'd still have it today. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but yeah, that truck was totaled shortly after I got it. I got to enjoy it for a little while, but if you ever find a 1984 Toyota 4x4 for sale, let me know. Alrighty, thanks for hanging out with me. It's been fun, and I'll see you again soon.